We're ready to rock. Everybody grab a chair. As you know, I like to start on time and end on time. And I have a gavel now, and I'm not afraid to use it. Fair warning. Welcome to the Beaches Watch July meeting. As you can tell, this is one of our most attended meetings. We're going to hear updates and status of our cities from our men in blue. Our chiefs of the respective beaches are here. We're looking forward to hearing what they have to say. My name is Maria Mark. I'm the president of Beaches Watch, and I'll be hosting this meeting. So make sure you stay in line, okay? So we are a citizens information group, and we are a membership group. So we would appreciate you thinking of joining or renewing your membership, as this helps us support our community meetings like this. Our memberships are $5 per student, $15 for individual, and $20 for family. Your membership or donation helps support our Give Back Award to our community, our nonprofits, between $500 and $1,000. It also supports our Fletcher High School Flan Sharp Memorial Scholarship of $1,000. We videotape our meetings, so for the friends and neighbors who were not able to make the meeting tonight, it will be on our YouTube channel, which is Beaches Watch 2012, and also on our website. So we will go ahead and recognize elected officials. Hopefully everyone is signed in. Obviously the City of Jacksonville Beach represents tonight. So from the City of Jacksonville Beach, we have Dan Jansen. We have Mayor Chris Hoffman, Greg Sutton, and Fernando Meza. From the City of Neptune Beach, we have Lauren Key. Did I miss anyone? No? John Wagner.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to sign in next time. Okay, just a few announcements before we get to our speakers. Just to let you know, this has been a thorn in Neptune Beach and Jack's Beach side for a while, but Governor DeSantis did veto the vacation rental bill, Senate Bill 2280, so kudos for that. It's now, we're going into the budget workshop, so this is a time for you to really be involved, see how the city plans to spend your tax dollars. It's your time to give input on how you think your tax dollars should be spent. So Jacksonville Beach, they're offering several workshop dates. They're on our website. I won't list them all here, but each one will focus on different areas of the budget. Atlantic Beach will also be holding their budget workshop dates, and they're also listed on our website. So as you know, this is an election year, if any of you have been listening to the news. So we have our own elections here at the beaches. Right now, Jacksonville Beach has 4 seats that are open, and we do have candidates running in each of the seats. For mayor, we have Georgette Dumont, which will be contesting our incumbent Christine Hoffman. Seat 1, Fernando Meza and Bruce Wooters. Close enough. Wooters? Wouters. Okay, Wouters. Seat 2, Dan Jansen and Duke Lewis. And then seat 3, Jennifer Ashley and Greg Sutton. Neptune Beach, we have the mayor, and seat 3, we have Corey Byland and John Phillips running for mayor.
Actually, it's Michael Phillips.
Michael Phillips.
Yeah.
Sorry for the typo there. Michael Phillips. Kind of like the swimmer, right? Seat 3, we have Kerry Chen, the incumbent, and he is being challenged by Brent Rogers. Atlantic Beach's qualifying is not until August 22nd through August 30th, so we do not have the candidates listed there, or the ballots listed there. So, you know, we're all about getting involved in your community, and so if you live in Atlantic Beach, We ask that you maybe consider running. We're going to have the mayor's seat open. We have commissioners' seats 2 and 3 open. Our upcoming meeting our next upcoming meeting is Wednesday, August 7th. This is also a very popular meeting because, as you know, on the Jacksonville City Council, there are 5 at-large city council members, and they also represent us here at the beach. So we are going to have a town hall with our at-large council members. It's a time for you to talk to them up close and personal, talk to them about anything you think that the city should be doing more for the beaches, and vice versa. So just by a show of hands, I just want to quickly find...
We have 2 more elected officials join us, Representative Klein and Michael.
Oh, Kai and Michael?
Mayor,
oh, welcome.
And
welcome.
Mayor Curtis Ford.
And Mayor Curtis Ford. Thank you. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for coming. Just quickly, we'd just like to kind of do a show of hands, how you heard about tonight's meeting. Anyone on Nextdoor? No one knows about Nextdoor. Facebook. Newspaper. Beaches Leader. Our website. Our newsletter. Okay, yay, you're reading our newsletter. Friend, neighbor, word of mouth. Okay, you do have some friends. That's good. Okay.
Heard it on TV.
I heard on TV. Oh, okay, so we're making television. That's even better. All right, so now the announcements are out of the way. Let's go ahead and get to the meat of our presentation. And we will start with our Chief Gualillo from Atlantic Beach. He will start, followed by Chief Key of Nipton Beach. And then Chief Smith will bring up the ending, and then we will have Q&A from the audience. So if you will please refrain from asking any questions during the presentation so we can get through all the presentations and then get to the questions. Chief Gualillo, I turn it over to you.
Good evening, thank you, Maria. So I'm Vic Gualillo, I'm the Chief of Police for Atlantic Beach Police Department. Thank you for having me this evening. Just want to share a little bit about our agency over the past year since we talked to you last July. Let you know what we've been doing since then. It's nice to be the opener, not the headliner, I'll say that, so I can speak my piece and move on. So in 2024, we talked about some of our successes, and if I can get that up on the screen, I'll share that with you. Hold on 1 second. There. All right. Just figure it out in a second. Technical difficulties.
As always.
Okay. All right. So we want to share some more successes for 2024. And I can't see that. I'm just going to stand over here. Our call center is accredited nationally, so we had 86 standards we had to meet. It's quite an accomplishment for a small agency to make sure we meet all those 86 standards, but it should give our residents some confidence to know that we are accredited by an outside agency. It's not just ourselves holding us accountable for the things we say we're going to do. There is an outside body that comes in every 3 years to make sure that we are living up to the expectations of the state of Florida. We had 5 new officers come on in 1 year, and again, for a small agency, that's no small task. That's over 2,000 hours of training for those 5 officers, and the training officers who made sure that they were up to all of our standards. So that was a great accomplishment for us. At one point in time, over the past couple of years, we were down 7 officers, and again, for an agency with 34 sworn, 33 sworn, being down 7 officers is a pretty significant number. And our advances in technology, we try and use and leverage technology to our best of our abilities. We are, again, a small agency, and we try and maximize our efficiency through use of technology. We'll talk about that in a minute. And community engagement, which is hugely important to us. The community and their support for us is immeasurable. So we want to make sure that we take every opportunity to engage our community and build that relationship with them. So ReadyOp is a platform. Can you hear me okay? ReadyOp is a platform we're using now that is helps us manage our emergency management platform. It's a very robust platform. The city of Jacksonville uses it, and it allows us to basically communicate with all of our employees on a single platform. They have the ability to respond to us over that platform. It's an app on a cell phone. At the simplest, but over the more complex things it does, we can actually use that system as a push-to-talk radio frequency also for the event. If we have officers out on scene somewhere, they can actually load pictures into that app and send pictures back to the command center. We can have real-time information about what they're seeing, whether that's a situation where we're working on the street, it's a criminal situation, or a response to a hurricane. It's a really good platform for us to have real-time communication with the officers in the street. We have 2 ThorGuard light prediction system monitors, so 2 of our busiest areas, which one is Russell Park, the other will be the beachfront at Ahern Street for us. So that allows us to alert all the citizens in the area if there's lightning within approximately about 2.5 miles of the prediction tells us that the conditions are right for lightning strikes. We have a way to communicate with those citizens now. They just seek shelter before that lightning actually hits the ground. We have a frontline reporting system, which makes it a whole lot easier for our patrol folks to have a platform to manage a lot of different reports for us, use of force, pursuits for direct patrol, vacation watches that citizens put in for us for their properties, activity reports we share back and forth between all of our officers and divisions, any officer complaints or compliments we've automated and put on our website. We have a bike registration device also on our website now, if you want to register your bikes with us and you live in Atlantic Beach. We also have a key holder registration form, so if you want to let us know if you have a business in Atlantic Beach or a home that has an alarm system that someone is going to be responding to that alarm as a key holder, let us know in advance. We'll put it through our system when we, if we receive an alarm at that location, we'll be expecting someone. We've added 7 license plate readers in our jurisdiction. Those license plate readers have been very valuable to us in investigating and solving crimes. We place them at various locations around the city, and then when we have an incident occur, whether it's a theft of some sort or just something that comes up on the LPR information like a stolen vehicle, our officers are alerted that there's a vehicle in the area that is reported stolen, or there's a driver that may have a serious warrant out for arrest. And likewise, we can go back and review the data from those license plate readers and know that if there was a orange pickup truck that someone saw that committed a crime, we have a way to go back now and actually look for leads in that crime because we have these license plate readers with cameras up. So it's a great system. We have paid parking connectivity improvements, 18th and 19th Street. Those are 2 of our paid parking areas, and we had a lot of challenges there as far as connectivity. We made improvements adding fiber data connection there and hardline electricity, so those will be much more convenient for the people who use those parking areas to have good connectivity and make sure that we are able to provide them that paid parking connection. We're looking to get 2 devices called TrueNarcs. TrueNarc is basically a laser device that is able to read through a bag or a container and tell you what kind of drug or substance is inside that bag. Of course, with the advent of fentanyl, recently we've heard about officers who come in contact with fentanyl and then actually get injured because of that. Now, with the TrueNarc system we're going to get this year, we're able to identify a lot more drugs because we're doing that through a database inside the machine. We also don't have to open packages anymore to actually come in contact with the narcotics. And as so many more hybrid drugs are being manufactured, the database is constantly updated. And so as these new drugs, come out, the designer drugs, we're able to also identify some of those where we didn't know what they were before just because we didn't have a chemical test that would keep up with all the changes. The TrueNarc system will help us stay better updated on what's out there. We're working on a GIS Esri system. It's a beta test with the state of Florida Emergency Management. That platform should allow us now to input data, and that data can be seen across the state. So if there's an incident in Atlantic Beach or anywhere else where someone's part of this Gator beta test system, they'll be able to get information on that incident, down to pictures and locations. Again, it's an app that works on a phone, so the app will actually give a GPS coordinate. So if we have officers out, let's say after a hurricane, and need to report to us, they have someone in a home that needs a search and rescue team to come and help them, but they have a hard time identifying where they're at because all the debris is around them. They can just open this app on their phone and hit the send button, and we'll know by GPS coordinate where they are. They can send us real-time pictures or anything else over the system, and anybody across the state, then from Tallahassee to Key West on the same system, can see the things that we're seeing. So this beta test is a very powerful system that we hope the state of Florida will be able to use to have better situational awareness for any of the emergency management situations around the state of Florida. And crime mapping. If you haven't used our crime mapping program in Atlantic Beach, it's on our website. It's updated about every 24 hours. And if you want to go in and look at the reported crimes within the city of Atlantic Beach, that's a platform for our citizens and anyone else to be able to go on there and have a quick visual representation of where the crimes occurred at, and generally the title of what the crime was. And if you need to go and ask for more information, we're welcome to come into our records division to get more information about those. So those are our technology upgrades in the past year, about a year and a half. I think that's, again, a lot of things we were able to accomplish in a year of 18 months with a small agency. But it's all to, again, help us be more efficient for our citizens. Community outreach we do, probably the biggest one we do every year is our community CPA class, Citizens Police Academy. And we ran our 9th class this year. I know Jack's Beach, you're up to about 50 or something. Yeah, so we're a little behind Jack's Beach, but it was a great model for us, and it's a great outreach. So if anybody wants more information about that, just let me know. We do that once a year in the springtime. One of the more fun things we do is we have firearms orientation days. We take our CPA members out for a range day and let them shoot all the stuff that we have in our arsenal, and it's kind of fun to shoot somebody else's bullets. And you don't have to clean the guns too. They had a class from our special response team. That's always a good one too. They get to see how the special response team works. They get to understand what's behind all the cool green uniforms and the cool guns these guys carry. They understand there's a whole lot more art to that than you ever would imagine when you just watch these things on television unfold in front of you. And another great one is our 5th grade kickball game. I will say we lost this year because of 5th graders. But that is probably because we invited the firefighters to come help us. And I don't think they helped us a whole lot. They won handily against us this year, but it was a great event, and it's a good way for us to send off our 5th graders into middle school every year that we do that. And we make sure to make it to the last day of school too, and again, to check out all the kids and make sure they have us as a reminder, something coming back to you, smiling faces from our police department next year, and then to go off to middle school. We're making sure they remember that we're there to help them. We're a good part of the community. We want them to be a part of the community with us. And our community round top. So we run a round top, or a tabletop exercise for the city of Atlantic Beach. We bring all of our departments together every year for a hurricane exercise at the beginning of hurricane season, just to make sure everybody remembers all the responsibilities and the relationships they need to be aware of. So we make sure we reach out to our city as well as our community. So the challenges we have, I think, for 2024-25 coming up next fiscal year are equipment funding, salaries, and recruiting and retention. I'm sure the other 2 chiefs will agree with me on at least the last one for sure. Equipment funding is always a challenge for us, and probably the biggest cost we have recurring year over year is going to be vehicles. We've watched the cost of vehicles go up every year. Currently, our vehicles cost us about $75,000, not just for the car, but everything that goes into the car. All the technology and equipment that goes into the police car, all the upgrades for the cages, the partitions, the radios. Radio by itself is about $5,000. So by the time we get that outfitting the cars with all of the technology that they need to do their job, it's a pretty penny. And those cars get driven hard. 15,000 miles a year is not unusual. Some of them are higher. And unfortunately, when you run a fleet of vehicles, it just gets expensive. And honestly, the manufacturers keep increasing the prices on the cars, sometimes disproportionately a little bit. We saw a 24% increase in the base vehicle last year, which is a pretty big jump for 1 year model year cars. Recruiting and retention, we're always looking for good officers. We are a little blessed right now. I have one open position, but again, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, we were looking at 7 open positions. So we're always looking for recruiting and retention opportunities. And this is, I think, is going to be our biggest hurdle. I'm sure everybody's seen the Sheriff's Office pay increase they're proposing. I don't disagree with that because of the competitive nature of our business and what the Sheriff's Office has to compete with. But I'll remind everybody that the 3 beach agencies have to compete with the Sheriff's Office. That's where our hiring pool is coming from. So for us to keep pace with them is hugely important. I can't stress that enough. We looked at our pay scale. At the top end of our pay scale, we are competitive with the Sheriff's Office. So what we're seeing they're doing is they're front-loading their pay scale. That's to get officers in the door. Typically what we see over the course of time is we have a gap between that 5 to 10 year mark. Officers will come in and work for a few years and then usually go somewhere else because of benefits. So they realize that also. So the Sheriff's Office brought up their front end of their pay scale to try and combat that. They've also done some things, I'm sure you've seen the paper, they've gone to the FRS Florida retirement system, which is a great opportunity for them, the employees they bring on. But those are things that we're going to have to compete with at the beaches. And all the things we need to do to provide law enforcement and security at the beaches, we can't do without bodies. We have to have bodies and seats of those cars in order to provide service to you all. So that's going to be one of our challenges looking forward into 25 and beyond, because we know that they are the competition. We're not losing our officers to smaller agencies around the state. It's going to be the Sheriff's Office. It's going to be St. Johns County. It's going to be everybody else who has those competitive pay rates. And unfortunately, we are admitting more these days for good employees, much like everybody else is. But that's what it's going to look like for us. And after this, we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about that. I got asked about crime stats. The good thing, year to date, January to June, we're down about 3%, almost 3.5% in Atlantic Beach. Those are the real numbers you see next to there. These numbers come from the NIVERS system. NIVERS is a new system of reporting that the FBI is requiring all police agencies to use. It's a good system. It's much more detailed than it ever was before under the old UCR, Uniform Crime Reporting. We want to put the real numbers up there for you because when we talk about percentages with small numbers, sometimes it looks really weird when we talk about a 300% increase, but there's really only a few crimes. So we put the real numbers up there, but for everybody else who just wants to know the overview, it's about 3.5% down today. Large scale events we talked about. Breast Cancer Marathon for us, a non-marathon, about 4,500 runners. And most of the marathon is running in Atlantic Beach because the half marathon comes through and then move back again to finish the larger part of the marathon before they exit again and go back to Benton and Jacks Beach. So the runners, those 4,500 runners, spend a whole lot of time in Atlantic Beach. We have a great community. I've never seen anywhere else that comes out to support the runners like we do at Atlantic Beach. We have great citizens. They're out there cheering and handing out water and playing music and dressing up and painting sidewalk chalk on the streets. It's a really good experience for us. Dancing in the streets, we share that with Neptune Beach. We don't have any real good numbers. We don't put up counters at the gates, but the numbers we've estimated between 8,000 and 10,000 people over the course of the day. There's a pretty wide footprint for that event. So for us to have about 8,000 to 10,000 people across that many hours is not unreasonable. It's a large event for us. 4th of July is anybody's guess. If you've ever been down to our beach or Neptune Beach and look down the beach before the fireworks go off, it's amazing to put that many people on that little strip of sand. It looks kind of like Beirut when it gets dark. I think we did back in the 80s. But it's anybody's guess how many people are down there. It's a major event for us. And Turkey Trot at Thanksgiving time, about 1,500 visitors. We manage in a pretty short time span because they run that just for a few hours before they go to Peace and then Neptune Beach. So top 3 needs for the upcoming year. Salary increases to stay competitive. Additional vehicles, because if I have the officers, I got to have vehicles for them to drive, and then I'll ready off implementation, because that's going to have an impact across our entire city workforce to be able to communicate and manage those emergency incidents. I think that's it. If you have any questions, there are ways to connect us: Facebook, Instagram. On Jack's Ready, you can get information about incidents and hurricanes that occur in the county. And of course, we've got the Safer Watch platform. If you want to report anything, you can report on Safer Watch anonymously. You can send us photographs, you can send us text, you can send us videos. It's a great way to communicate with us. If you want to let us know something's happening in your neighborhood, maybe you don't want to identify yourself, it is an anonymous platform. Great, thank you very much.
Slide. 62 slides.
Sorry, this is a new system.
So I'm going to get started. They gave me 15 minutes, and I need an hour and 15 minutes to brag on my agency. So I'm going to steal as much time as I possibly can. Good evening. My name is Mikey. I'm the Chief of Police for Neptune Beach Police Department. It is always such an honor and a privilege to be at these events. I'm going to take just a quick second of my 15 minutes and kind of get off track here. 22 days from today will be August 1st, and that's the first day that I was the Chief of Police for Neptune Beach. that's when I was hired to, appointed to do the job. I was preparing this PowerPoint and was shocked that it had been a year almost, 22 days shy of a year. And I'd like to thank Beaches Watch for these police panels mid-year to look back on a year and really be just so appreciative of all the accomplishments that not only our agency does for the beaches communities, but all three of the beaches agencies do for all the residents of the beaches communities. Your police departments, not only Neptune, but all three of the police departments do so much for the beaches residents with so little. We are not Jackson. We don't have millions and millions and billions of dollars to throw at problems. We have small budgets to sometimes solve big problems. So with that, it never usually gets said. So I'm a loud talker. Am I too loud? No. All right, here we go. All right, so I have 15 minutes. Buckle up. It's going to be fast. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start with employees. Employees are first. And I had the unique and distinct privilege to have some amazing promotions here recently. I just had the privilege to promote 2 new commanders after I was appointed, and that is Commander Liam Toll. He was a sergeant before. He had been with the agency and kind of grown up in it as I had, and really had immersed himself in all the various different components of our police department. It is always such an honor to be able to bring someone up like that with you. He is over the patrol, hiring, etc., etc., as you see. I feel like I'm too close to this mic, so I'm going to stand a little further back. I'm a loud talker. All right. This should not count against me for my 15 minutes. I'll keep talking. Commander Gary Snyder is the second one I was able and fortunate to promote. A beaches kind of legend and icon guy around for a long, long time. He started as a lifeguard before he went into town and worked for Sheriff's Office for a couple of decades as a homicide detective, and was lucky enough to pick him up about 10 years ago and promote him over the years. My executive assistant, Jan Snyder, I couldn't think of all the various things that she does for this agency and me and the command staff. She was previously a communications supervisor, so with her promotion, I was able to promote Elaine Dean, who we stole from Chris Hoffman, who's given me the knee eye. Thank you so much, Chris. We are never looking back. So, you know, there's 4 people. Really, if I could put every single employee up, I would, so I'm going to. This is our organization chart, and we redid it about 6 months ago, and we've kind of continued to revamp it. And I've never seen at least for our organization, an O chart that had every single employee listed on it. And really this one doesn't. If you look at the bottom, there's some blocks with 18 and 5 and 6, so we couldn't even fit it all. But what was shocking about it is for the small city of Neptune Beach, the police department has 72 members. When you put it all down on an organization chart, you're kind of shocked at how many members you actually have. And that includes 22 full-sworn police officers, 9 full-time civilian staff, 12 part-time civilian staff, 23 seasonal, the majority of those being ocean rescue, and 6 volunteers. Just kind of shows you, you know, the size of our small organization, as we say, small, with 72 members. All right, so the department activities. Community policing is what we do. You know, a lot of agencies throughout America have coined that 10, 15 years ago. The Beaches Police Departments were doing that since its inception. That's the reason we're here. That's the reason you have 3 separate Beaches Police Departments. It's small, it's unique, and it's very, very close to the heartbeat of what your cities and what your communities need. In addition to that, we inspire every single new police officer to subscribe to that theory. If they don't subscribe to that theory, they will very quickly reveal themselves, and they will quickly reveal themselves out the door because they don't fit for our community. We have to have somebody who understands that when somebody needs bracelets and handcuffs put on them and need to go to jail immediately, they'll have that. But when Ms. Smith's trash cans need to get brought up when she was just a victim of theft, that also needs to happen. It's that community policing aspect of it. Carrying over to the right side there, we're continuing to do the Chiefs Walks. We've done those for about 5 or 6 years, and it's a chance again to hear directly from our citizens right at the doorsteps. So we'll be rolling those out. We have plans to hit the 5th and 4th Street areas south of Florida Boulevard here in the next coming weeks. We are walking in July. That seems a little crazy to my staff, but they're walking, so we're getting out there. We'll talk real quick about e-bikes going down to the bottom right. So that's a touchy subject and a hot subject, and I have no problem with addressing with the room, with social media, with whoever else. First and foremost, everybody needs to understand e-bikes are preempted by state law. They are considered bicycles for the most part. There's some caveats to it, but they are considered bicycles. And that's a problem, especially when we have our own local governments that are preempted and prevented from passing certain types of regulations on them. But it's just like any new technology. When the internet first came out, it was wide open, and a lot of things were happening, and we were all trying to scramble, right? E-bikes are the same thing. They will get regulated. It is a problem that will get fixed, but we're all just in the midst of it. We're all just trying to do our best to fix this problem. So what our agency has done is taken an approach that we're going to enforce the laws that are already on the books. Fortunately, Neptune Beach has a reckless operation of an e-bike on the MO, municipal ordinance. So that's, you can't go 15 miles an hour faster, you can't operate in a reckless and dangerous manner, you can't operate on the beach, etc. Can your Neptune Beach Police Department be everywhere at all times? Absolutely not. So enforcement's one aspect, and it's one leg of an approach to the problem, but it is not the end-all be-all, just like we can't arrest our way out of any problem. So enhanced enforcement campaigns, we'll talk about that here in just a second, but that is like a directed, targeted approach to saying, hey, this group of officers go out there and only look specifically for this type of problem. We've done several of those. Education in schools. We've sent officers into every single school to do lectures on e-bike safety. We put signage, these fancy bright yellow signs, put 4 signs along First Street and more are coming to educate our public. We're trying our best, but here's the bottom line. We need a full community approach to solve an e-bike problem. We need enforcement. We need all the things that I just listed. But we need parents to not give their 14-year-old child an e-bike that goes 40 and go, here you go, turn loose, have fun. So it is a true community problem, but it needs a full, true community approach to solving that problem. You cannot look at your police department and say, solve this problem. It's a problem, solve it. It's not going to happen. You're going to be disappointed with the results if you just ask us to solve that problem alone. It has to be solved by everybody. All right, moving on, I'll get off the soapbox. Narcan and Zimhide, it's kind of the same thing. It's an opioid blocker. Believe it or not, the beaches do have problems with fentanyl. We do have problems with opioid. And when we run into it, we need ways to reverse the effects of it. And we need the ways to reverse the effects of it for not only the people who have overdosed. They are victims of overdose. They're not just worthless drug dealers. They are victims, and is truly a victim of a drug overdose. But also our officers who accidentally or inadvertently come into contact with it. And just like Chief Guillo had said, all the beaches, probably all law enforcement agencies are all looking at those fancy scanners that we don't even have to touch the dangerous chemical. We just scan it through a bag. Because it is something where an officer can accidentally or inadvertently get exposed to it, overdose, and an officer could save someone's life. So one of the things we did is we rolled out Narcan. That's the nasal form of a spray. It's benign. If somebody didn't need it and you hit it with them, it doesn't hurt them. But then we went a step further and got Zimhide. It's an injectable. It's a stronger dose. And then we took it a step further and didn't just give it to our officers, we trained everybody. So if someone walked into our lobby and a receptionist was talking to them, there's a cabinet with an AD, and inside the AD is Zimhide and Narcan that can grab it immediately. So lifeguards, etc. All right, moving over to the right, service weapons. So we had 15-year-old service weapons that were in desperate need of a refresh. That's not an easy feat, though, to just simply say, hey, we're going to just clear out all of our old gear and bring in all new gear. So we utilized some grant funding to not only get the latest and greatest of the new weapons, but also some of the new fancy gear that goes on, red dot sights, the little red dots on top of a pistol and flashlights, etc. All right, so here's one of those enhanced enforcement campaigns. This is one that we've just started, and if you've been down on First Street and you parked illegally and you got a parking ticket, you're in this big magenta, is that the color, magenta? You're in that 306. So 7 weekends, basically, we're talking since Memorial Day weekend. We initiated this. That's only during daylight hours. We assigned someone east of 3rd Street. There's always going to be a policeman, no matter what, unless, God forbid, something really bad happening elsewhere that they need to respond to. There will always be a policeman east of 3rd to the ocean, specifically targeting violations that are community problems. Those e-bikes, the parking violations, because for one parking complaint that I got about a parking ticket that I shouldn't have gotten, I got 25 parking complaints about people illegally parking in front of their house, blocking driveways, etc. This includes, oh, I already read that. So again, these are just Saturday and Sundays. So just in the 7 weekends that we've done this, we've logged roughly about 112 hours of man hours down there. We wrote 20 citations and 306 parking citations. Again, this is just one singular enhanced enforcement campaign for one time period. All right, moving on. I told you I'm going to race. So when I became the chief about a year ago, one of the big things that I wanted to do is leverage technology, as was already discussed, but leverage it in such a way that I increase the transparency of our police department. Leverage it in a certain way that I want the public to fully understand everything we're doing, the good, the bad, everything. And does that invite enhanced criticism? Absolutely. Lean into it. Take it. It's fine. So one of the things we started doing is monthly reports. Every single month we produce a report. It's about 15 days after the month because it takes time for crime stats to come in and the crime analysis people to put the report together. But then we log in and we put it on our website. If you go to our website there on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a section there, monthly reports, and since October, I believe we started doing it, everything's there. But what's good about these is on the last page, it's everybody who's arrested in Neptune Beach. Now, some might not like that. And I would respond to them, then do not come into Neptune Beach, commit a crime, and get arrested by us, and your mugshot won't be in my monthly report. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. So I know a lot of agencies in Florida do that. Northeast Florida, that's kind of a hit or miss, but we've really started leaning into that. The annual reports are now online that weren't previously, and one of the things that I've taken a little bit of the lead of from Jacksonville Beach Police Department, if you commit a crime that is that shocks the conscience of our community, we're putting you on our social media, and we're going to put your mugshot on as well. We're going to do an exclusive piece on you because you're not going to be welcomed with open arms when you come and commit a crime in Neptune Beach. And that's kind of the message that we're looking for. So whether it's a violent crime or a serious drug offense, etc., if it's of seriousness, we're going to kind of make a spectacle of it on purpose. And again, I've gotten phone calls on that. Well, you know, I don't really like that you put a mugshot. Then don't carry 25 grams of fentanyl able to kill 2 million people in Neptune Beach, right? Sorry. So I make no apologies. All right, so focus on the accessibility on the website. All right, some of the other kind of lower level things that we've done is Neptune Beach never had park hours. There was no municipal ordinance on park hours. So if you went into Neptune Beach, of the 6 parks we have, which we have some like micro pocket parks, there were never a MO that allowed you to not be there. So we did that. I got a 2-minute warning, so I'm going to race now. All right, here we go. So I really wanted to spend some time on this, but I kind of spun my wheels too much. School speed cameras. This is another one of those things that it's you either love it or you hate it, but at the end of the day, here's what I would present to anybody who's a critic of it. What is the cost of potentially losing one child to a vehicular accident? What's the cost of that? How much can you live with based off of a $100 ticket that has no points against your license, won't raise your insurance rates, etc.? So we can talk more about that, and there's all the various components of that. But let me race through this. July 4th, we started with public service announcements. We prepped with the Sheriff's Office bringing 23 officers in, 2 fire department officers, and all of our staff. Some of the bike stats, pretty interesting here. We put a bicycle counter at Orange on First. That registered 14,000 hits. We put a bicycle counter on First and Seagate. That registered 16,000 hits. We were the 4th busiest bicycle visited city in the world. According to the stats, following only Paris and 2 cities in Germany. The city of Neptune Beach experiences that large of an influx. And then the results of that, with those thousands upon thousands of people showing up to Neptune Beach, there were 3 arrests. 1 DUI with a crash and 2 drug offenses, which is just incredible. Some other little minor things that I won't waste my time on. All right, we are hiring as well. We have 2 police officer positions and 1 emergency communications officer position open. Just like Chief Gawillo said, at the end of the day, the beaches are bedroom communities, and we only accept a certain type of policeman to police our community. And they have to have a broad band of ability to understand when it's time to act and when it's time to show compassion or give a break. Man, I ran out of time. We got a Best Badge Award. I was really proud of this. In 1931, the city of Neptune Beach was incorporated. In 1976, we changed from deputy town marshals to police, following a curve of the national trend. We changed from a star to a badge at that time. In 2021, we went back to a star as a throwback to town marshals. And since then, we had been kind of redoing a badge. So we put our heads together. We came up with an amazing design. It's got King Neptune. They used my physique and abdominal muscles. Obviously, modeled badge after. We were really proud of that. That was the best badge in the entire nation, which was really neat. A huge honor for our agency. So, all right, moving on as fast as I can. We also redesigned our patch, which was kind of neat, just a branding thing. All right, here's some of our annual report statistics. For 2023, I don't want to misquote, the Neptune Beach Police Department responded to 21,941 calls, and that's calls for service as well as self-initiated activity. I got the stage hook to pull me out. So here we go, the last slide here. What can you do? You can stay informed. Social media is not the gospel, and it can be extremely destructive to community. Do not believe everything you read. I can tell you tonight that a volcano is going to go off in the middle of Neptune Beach. Is it so? No. Call me. Every email, I have my cell phone number on it. I'm extremely accessible. If you have a question, I'll absolutely answer it for you. Don't be too quick to judge. Get involved. Join us as an employer or volunteer. Be kind. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. That's probably what our communities most need, is to be kind. We are a community. We fight with each other, probably inappropriately sometimes on social media. It's destructive. We're a community. Be kind to each other. And I'll end right now because I'm literally getting pulled out with an African proverb. Y'all ready? All right. When 2 elephants fight, y'all heard this one? When 2 elephants fight, the only thing that suffers is the grass underneath them. Right? Let's all be kind to each other. and make our communities better with that. All right, thank you guys.
Not have a PowerPoint or anything else, it's just him. So I'm going to be doing this while he starts. Go ahead.
Thank you for coming out. You know, when we came up together, the three of us, and we're real close, we talk every week. But every time we're the center of attention or something like this, they love it when I'm here. Because I have other things to talk about, that's why a lot of y'all are here, that's why the media's here. So I'm going to get right to it. I'm kind of straight shooter, at least I'm told that, so let's get to it. I'm going to be talking about from St. Patrick's Day until this past weekend. I can talk about all the stats and all the good work my people are doing. Let's face it, most of y'all are here to hear about what we're doing to keep you safe and the steps we've accomplished since St. Patrick's Day, and really that we've done my whole career here, the whole 30 years. I've had the pleasure of working with some fantastic people. As far as I'm concerned, I have the best staff in the country. We do more with less than we always have. And to the men and women out there on the streets of Jacksonville Beach, thank you so much. What you did St. Patrick's Day through the 4th of July 4-day weekend is a miracle. I don't know any other police department our size that can pull off that kind of service and protection and everything we did over those 3 or 4 months. I can't think of any other police department our size that can do that. So my hat's off to them. Thank you for all my council coming, and my boss, and of course the media. First Coast News called and said, is Chief Smith coming? Yeah, he'll be there. Who is this? Hung up. Oh, I'm just joking. And then Action News called and said they wanted it on camera, so by this time I had found out all my council was going to be here. And so I have my PIO come, my public information officer, and my boss is here, city manager too, so awesome. So let's cover 4th of July first. We treated that as a 4-day weekend. Thursday, which of course was the 4th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We predicted, and it came out true, that a lot of people took Friday off and were busy all 4 days. We were extremely busy all week, from dusk till dawn, from the beach crowd to the lunch dinner crowd to the bar crowd, and then back again. I'm happy to report we had no critical incidents. We did have a few disturbing things happen, but nothing on the scale of what's been in the headlines for the last couple of months. So it was busy, and we were still a little short-handed, and we were able to pull off that 4-day weekend. For me alone, I was at the command post from 11 a.m. to about midnight on Friday, and then the crew working. Everybody worked days on, days off. Everybody worked anyway, at least 11 or 12 hours. It was just grueling. It was a grueling hot weekend. For those of you that work outside, you can imagine what it's like. With blue uniform, body armor, and gun belt and everything. It was just grueling, and they did it. So to back up a little, when we take it from St. Patrick's Day on, we were prepared for St. Patrick's Day. We've had incidents, critical incidents happen in Jacks Beach before that are very similar. For those of y'all that have been around long enough, you know that. When you cycle through, and this is not an excuse, ultimately I am responsible for the safety of the people who visit and live in Jacksonville Beach, and I'm okay with that. So I'm making excuses, but when you cycle through a conservative estimate of 4 million people a year on our roadway, beaches, restaurants, bars, driving through Boston to get to Atlantic Neptune Beach, JTB, Beach Boulevard, plus your residents, conservatively 4 million people a year, on the top end is 8 million. When you cycle that many people through your city every single year, it's basically a numbers game at that point. You know, if you have, let's say, 0.5% of your population of criminals, if you have a city like Lake City, out in a little further west. They might have 25,000 visitors a year, 0.05% of 25,000, not very many. 8 million, 4 million, even conservatively, 0.05% of 4 million people is a lot of criminals. And that's what we're cycling through our city. That's just the dynamics of Jacksonville Beach compared to the other beaches. Regardless, we were short-handed and we had our cyber incident on top of it. So the worst case happened, we got hit with 3 shootings all within a period of an hour. I had to declare an active shooter event. We had to lock down every bar and restaurant in Jacksonville Beach. I did an all-call to every single one of my officers who showed up anyway. JSO, Neptune Beach, and Orlando Beach, thank you, Mike, for showing up. It really was unprecedented, and it really, it's a national event. It really was. And then my mayor and my city manager showed up. I said, this is going to be on Fox News tomorrow. So we circled the wagons, literally, and started to lock down downtown, secure 3 separate crime scenes and 3 separate shootings. We started evacuating thousands of people locked in the bars with approximately 50 officers. So it was a miracle. What my people did that night was a miracle, and nobody else was hurt or killed that night, and they were able to evacuate all those people successfully. So in the aftermath of that, we had a series of meetings. I would encourage y'all on our Facebook page. Who follows our Facebook page here? It's just a pretty good page. Do y'all agree? It should win awards if they're an award for it. It's awesome. We've got awesome compliments on it, and this report's on there. I prepared this in about 4 or 5 days with my staff. And it's called Jacksonville Beach Police Department Downtown Safety Recommendations and a Path Forward. And it really gives a history of how we got to where we're at and where we're going in the future. The positive thing in this, I noted that we're all wanting the same thing. And we're all working together, whether it's citizens, city council, city leadership, and then my staff. You know, I joke around a lot, but I really do am the luckiest police chief in the country because I have the support of unwavering support of council, my city leadership. I got the best city manager and deputy city manager in the state, and I damn sure have the best staff in the country, and I have the best citizens that are very protective of us. So I'm really important compared to all the other chiefs out there. So we had a series of meetings, and we took steps to mitigate this in the future, knowing we'll never fully mitigate it. If someone wants to come out with a gun, or a car, or a knife, and commit a crime against somebody else, in a free society, you can only stop that so much. Now, I also told my staff, and we were pretty bruised and pumped up after that night, both mentally and physically. We worked for 2-3 days straight on all the crime scenes. And we came out of it okay, but I told my staff there's no way to prevent this from happening. If someone intends to do harm, there's no way to stop it. And I think that's fine. And like I said, in a free society, there's no way to stop it. Now we can mitigate it. But certainly with that amount of visitors coming in our city every year, I think our police department does a darn fine job, and there's not more. Because it's just the way society is. I had a Memorial Day, I had a 12-year-old commit an armed robbery on the beach. It's not from the beach, with a handgun. I mean, that is like, Chief Key said, that's a societal problem, and we got to solve that. I mean, you can't look at any police department and say, well, what are you going to do about it?
Chief, can you speak up a little bit?
Yes, ma'am. It's not fair to ask us to do in 15 minutes what that parent should be doing that whole child's life. So when the 12-year-old commits an armed robbery on the beach, there's only so much we can do at 11 o'clock at night. But I will say we did take steps to mitigate this. I got extra positions in my budget. We made some pay arrangements to reward experienced officers. We've received 5 officers from out of state that when we raised the pay for experienced officers, they said, you want to come to Jack's Beach, and they chose us over other local bigger areas. So I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but this is not the beginning of the end of this crisis, or whatever you want to call it. This is the end of the beginning. as my two chiefs will testify to, you can't mass produce good policemen. If you want a department to be something, to be fully staffed, to be well trained, to do whatever, it takes at least a year to get there. You agree with that? We just can't snap our fingers and hire people and put them on the street training. It takes a while to do it. So it's going to take us a while. I got all the technology I requested. I got all the capabilities I requested, the equipment, and the personnel that I requested from very supportive council and very supportive city administration. And the citizens, of course, have been fantastic. So that's where we are now. Also, this month, I put out a monthly newsletter. I handed it out to y'all. Please take a look at Facebook and follow us, because it really gives you all the information of all the good stuff we're doing out there. We've made big steps towards filling positions, but as the other two chiefs or every sheriff and chief in the country will tell you, this is a national crisis. And we're stuck in it too, just like everybody else. We're a little bit more fortunate because we're in a conservative area, but if you ask any chief or sheriff, or at least me or us, what's the biggest threat to public safety in this country, or this county, or this city, it's the shortage of qualified policemen and police officers, period. Because you can have all the biggest budget in the world, but if you don't have any police officers to fill those positions, it doesn't no good. So the recruiting crisis, to me, is the biggest threat to law enforcement and law and order in Jacksonville Beach, as in probably every city. So remember that when you go to the polls, remember that when the police departments are asking for more money, because the costs of police cars are going up, costs of personnel. The spigot has shut off with academy graduates that are qualified. There just really are none. No one's applying, no one wants to be a policeman anymore. So what we have to do is we have to try to take officers from other agencies. Is it fantastic? No. Is it sad? Yes, it's sad. We don't have a choice. It's survival of the fittest right now. We're doing everything we can to recruit and retain officers. So, on the positive note, though, I've seen my staff and my civilian personnel and all volunteers just do like they've always done and respond and rally, and our citizens have been supportive. And anything I need, I've asked for and I've received. So that's kind of where we're at. We've reassigned some positions. We're starting to put officers back in specialized positions. When we started experiencing shortages, I had to pull detectives, traffic unit, our downtown case unit away from their specialized units and put them on patrol. That's narcotics, guns, gangs, and drugs, traffic, all the stuff that a lot of y'all call about and complain about and say you would like fixed. They were all working in patrol for a year. So that's kind of what I was up against. We, as a police department, were up against. But then, like I said, the good news is we're starting to reseed those specialized units and starting to get people back in them. And all I see is good stuff coming for our city. And I will remain optimistic as long as I'm the chief. And I think y'all know me, I'm a law and order chief. I don't think there's any doubt about that for y'all who know me. And we will continue to protect our citizens, our business owners, and the people who visit our city, whether one short or 30 short. We're going to do our job. I gave the 2-minute warning. I think y'all are probably going to have some questions for us, hopefully for Chief T and Chief Gorilla, and not me. So I will end it a couple minutes early at this point, and I'll allow y'all to ask questions. Would you like them to come up?
Microphone. You guys will have to share the podium, and I ask the audience to raise your hand if you have any questions, and if you don't mind standing and speaking loud and clear so we can get you on the video audio, okay? So we're not going to be able to finish on time, which is my mantra, but I know there are some questions I will kind of deviate from this. So, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Joyce Dane, I live in Neptune Beach. My problem with the 4th of July is that there's fireworks, there's loud music, there's all this stuff all day long. What I don't like is that it's all day long the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And it's not so bad that they're little fireworks, but they've got this new thing now, it's like a bomb. When that thing goes off, it is literally like the sound of a bomb. And we had a lot of them in Neptune Beach. And the feeling you get in your body, it just goes right through you. Not to mention what it does to our dogs. My little dog was terrified. My daughter.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you get to the question? Just because we're short
I
on
want
time.
to know why we can't make a law, if there's not one already, that prohibits that kind of noise, especially at night after 10 o'clock. And the magnitude of that noise is unbelievable.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Since it was not Atlantic Beach or Neptune, I'll take this. So, first, some of y'all may know Governor DeSantis signed a law that basically allowed fireworks. And what that did is it confused some citizens because the city of Neptune Beach has it in its ordinance, and I'll sum it up real quick. If it's a firework that leaves the ground or explodes, it is illegal still. So people saw what Governor DeSantis did, which, that was great, but they didn't understand that that didn't override the city of Neptune Beach's municipal ordinance. So to answer your question, we do have a law on the books against a firework that explodes or leaves the ground. So that's the kind of easiest way we can explain it. But at the end of the day, it's the 4th of July. As you saw the statistics on the screen, we have thousands upon thousands of visitors in our community. We have roughly 38 policemen to patrol that area. It's a numbers game. We get to them, we seize 2 buckets of fireworks about this big. There's a water barrel at the police station full of water that we throw them all in. They're overflowing at the end of the night. But can we stop every firework? Absolutely not, unfortunately. So your complaints are, I hear it. The officers know that. The officers understand it. I'm a citizen of Neptune Beach. I don't like it. I have 3 young children. I want them to go to sleep. My 2-year-old's terrified of it. But can I solve fireworks going off on the 4th of July? I can't stand in front of the crowd and say I can solve it. We can work towards enforcing it, educating. That's probably the best answer I can give you.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Frank, Jacksonville Beach. Can you share with me a little bit about surveillance cameras that you might have in some areas that might be susceptible to crimes? And just do we have them out there? Do we plan on having more so that we can identify people if in fact some of the issues that have come about we can more readily and quickly identify so that we can be more at ease here locally?
Yes, sir, Jacksonville Beach. We had about the same camera system. We just put in an addition and an upgrade to that camera system. We basically doubled our camera size in the downtown area in the Hearts. It's about 86 cameras just in our downtown area. And it was up and running on St. Patrick's Day and all the other holidays. I'm happy to report. All I can tell you right now is that it's been assisting us with our cases of the shootings and stuff. That's all I can cover at this point. It's been helpful for us. And we also have them up at the command post for the 4th of July. We monitor all the crowds. It's got numerous angles from the 86 cameras just in our downtown area. So yes, they record also. They're amazing piece of technology. And they're up and running.
Okay, good one. Thank you.
In the back.
My name's Denise. I live in Neptune Beach, and my question is, first of all, thank you for your service and your staff. And it was mentioned in the beginning, in light of the pending JSO compensation and benefit package that is proposed to go into effect January 1, what are you seeing in your agencies? And I know you don't have the power, but what are you seeing from your elected officials to help y'all meet. I can't believe, looking at these numbers, Jax Beach is the largest and has 54,000 versus 65 starting JSO. But Neptune Beach is 57, Atlantic Beach 55. That still isn't enough. As you said, Chief, in your presentation, nobody wants to be a police officer. But I think money does help. As a business owner, I know the more I pay, the more applicants I get. So what are you seeing from your elected officials in supporting you and getting what you need? Thank you.
Is that directed to Neptune Beach or all?
It's all three.
All right, I'll jump up because I don't think you're going to get any of us to talk bad about our elected officials, so preface, okay? I'll say this, though. The elected officials have the influence and the authority to set budgets, but the city manager and the CFO set your budget and construct them, right? So at the end of the day, what we do as police chiefs, or at least what I do, you have to look at all those other competing entities. But I'll say it in a public format. The Neptune Beach Police Department, all the three beaches police departments have enjoyed the benefits of no pension at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office for the past couple of years. And I just stay with me. When the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office did away with their pension, the beaches police department's recruiting efforts got better because we had, just to let alone at Neptune Beach, we had 5 officers leave the JSO, come to Neptune Beach and say, the reason I'm here is you have a defined pension. I'm not going to put my life on the line for 30 years and get done and not have a pension. I'm no, I'm not doing it. Everybody else has a pension. I'm going where the pension is. I say that to say, now that the JSO has reinstituted a pension, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a numbers game to go back and get creative to recruiting different folks. A lot of the younger folks look at the starting salaries and say, well, that's all I want, that's all I care about. But as Chief Smith mentioned, we're recruiting talent out here because we're recruiting not numbers, not mass numbers, but individuals and personalities. So those people understand benefits. Packages are sometimes better than starting pay. But at the end of the day, and I know the other chiefs will back in, you're not going to get rich by being a policeman. So we're going to pay our policemen what we possibly can, but the bucket is only so much, and it's only going to be divided in so much capacity.
So I think all three of us are in the same boat. We're entering our budget processes now, so these are conversations we're going to have with our elected officials. I am uncomfortable going back year after year asking for more and larger salaries. I understand that's the society we live in right now. It's a reality, but if we're going to put policemen in cars to go to patrol the neighborhoods, I have to have the bodies. I can't attract the bodies without the pay. It's just a reality of our society, and unfortunately, we're bidding war with the private sector and other law enforcement agencies. So it's a real conversation we need to have because it's going to affect us right now in the future, in short order. Because now, again, with the raises we're looking at, I'm looking at 1 to 5 year officers, leaving my agency to go to the sheriff's office because they don't have a whole lot invested in the agency, and they're going to get a $10,000 a year raise just by changing the uniform. So that's a real concern for us.
Ditto.
I'm the mother of James Jones that was murdered at the beach on March 17th. I want to know and there was one, he was the 3rd person shot that night. The gaps between the times, I don't understand, and I'm asking you, Chief, why wasn't the beach closed, stopped, shut down after the first shooting? You say the surveillance, I don't have any answers. It's almost been 4 months. My son is gone. He has a child he left behind. I don't have any answers. The detective has told me, is FBI involved? Is JSO involved? Your department is involved? It's too many people involved for me still to be empty. I need to know, I want answers for my baby. He wasn't a thug. He wasn't a gangbanger. He could have been on your police force at this point because you need officers. I need to know. I need answers.
I understand, ma'am. I have two sons myself. One's a police officer, one's a firefighter. So I worry about them every night. You can't imagine the loss. But here's straight up. In my agency, the most sacred duty that any police officer can do is investigate a homicide. Because we speak for the victim. It doesn't matter who that victim is, or what the demographic of that victim is, or where they live. We investigate every crime because that's the most sacred duty to speak for the victim. Your case is still active, and that's all I can tell you at this point in this public forum. That's all. I can give you information personally if you want to wait for me after, or if you come by tomorrow. But I can tell you your son's case is active, and just like the other homicides we work, we will get this solved if it's possible. But we don't forget we have to prove it, and that's proving somewhat difficult. And I'll be straight up with you. Not everybody wants to talk. Not everybody's being cooperative. And when you add all that things up, it takes time. I can't imagine what you're going through. But if it's possible, we will solve like we solve all the other ones that I've assigned to. I wish I could give you more at this point. I can give you some inside information later, but I don't want to do it in a public forum because it may jeopardize the case. Is that fair enough? And if you wait for me after, I'll be glad and happy to talk to you after. Okay? Thank you.
Let's have one more question. Yes, ma'am, madam.
Hi, my name is Meredith. I also live in Jacks Beach, and I was with my children July 4th and was assaulted at the Jacks Beach and 3rd Avenue crosswalk. And this is my son, has a broken nose and 2 black eyes. I have loose teeth and 2 black eyes. We were assaulted on our way home from the fireworks show by 3 men and 2 women. Your police officers showed up and accused me when I was standing on the sidewalk beside my children. They were calling me all these names, and my son simply asked them not to talk to me that way, and they threatened to beat us up and did so. Once they were on my son, I freaked out, ran into them and pushed them off of them, and they beat me up. That's my son. I'm a single mom. I can't let something happen to them, and he's a minor. I had been mistreated so badly by the police department. I was told that it didn't matter that I couldn't take these men and my son because they interviewed the witness, supposedly, which lives 20 minutes from the person that hit me. They're both in Valdosta, Georgia. That seems very odd to me. I came to speak to you at the police department yesterday, and I was refused multiple times. I'm not allowed to speak to the chief, they said. I'm not allowed to talk to anyone other than the responding sergeant. I've asked for the camera footage from all the traffic cameras, from Element Hotel, from Walgreens, and there's cameras everywhere, but nobody wants to give me the footage. And I've also been told this case will not be taken any further unless this footage is produced. How can you protect me as a single mother when you're literally who I look to? I don't have anybody else. I was a victim of domestic violence already, so this stirred up a lot. And I am a gun owner, but I don't want to take that going to the beach. I shouldn't have to. That gun would have done no good in that situation. I don't believe so. How can I feel protected if all of your cameras supposedly don't record? Because that's what your officer told me multiple times yesterday. How can I prove these people did it?
If you see us after Sergeant Cable, get your name.
Sure.
Actually, the complaint process, you start with the first line supervisor, and then you go from there. And we'll look into your complaint, just like we're looking at all the other ones. I don't have a problem with it.
Thank you.
It's an open vote. What were you charged with, by the way?
I wasn't charged, but I was listed as a victim offender, and so was my son. And
What were your son's charges?
The battery, it was battery.
Okay.
But my 13-year-old son was not listed as a victim at all,
Okay.
and the 4 other people were. So it's just very frustrating.
I totally understand, it's hard to take over this information. Yes, sir. Oh.
All right, last question.
Thank you. My name is Bruce. I'm from Jacksonville Beach. Chief Dean, we love you and thank you for all you do. And we know that more money would be helpful, I think. You know, I was told by Parks Director they're going to spend $20 million on bike trails. Do you think some of that money might be better spent on police officers? Thank you for your support.
The answer is
My
yes.
opinion is irrelevant. It's a city council and city manager decision. And I'm not going to do it.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. This, as I said, is always one of our best meetings, and we want to thank our chiefs for coming here and sharing and being so open and candid. We want to thank our men and women in blue, and if we can have a round of applause for them. Budget season right now, and the budget workshops are open to the public. In fact, you need to attend the budget workshops because your concerns that you have about your city and how your tax dollars are being paid, this is the time for your voice to be heard and for you to let them know how you would like to see your tax dollars spent and on what and the priorities. So we will close now. I have one more request. For those